Well, Saturday morning, January the 6th, 2018. And it looks very interesting situation going on in the investigation. Uh, so early in the morning, I messed it all up. But anyway, what I want to say is that the investigation that they have with Trump with the Russia hacking and interfering with our electric college vote um, is being derailed uh, by them picking on the FBI um, in such a way that now they want to investigate Hillary Clinton again. And I guess the way they're going to investigate Hillary Clinton is to go over all the investigation they did before. Because you got to understand, if Trump is saying that her, like, what is it, um, for profit, oh, I don't know how you call those things, um, um, that, well, I guess she has, like, an organization for profit. It's not for profit. Damn it. um, well, anyway, he has one too, where he was supposed to like donate money. That he had people donate money to his organization, um, and he's supposed to benefit other people, which he's used to benefit himself. So I think Trump and his family, like Ivanka, Trump Jr., and the other one, Eric, and all them, cannot fathom someone not being a con artist or being a criminal or being corrupt. Like to them, that's the only reason why you would have a non-for-profit organization. Not to actually help people. You know, but I get all that stuff confused, unfortunately, and I didn't write anything of that down. Only thing I wrote down is that I believe that Vladimir Putin um has helped Trump people come up with this idea of attacking the FBI and using Hillary Clinton because of the FBI coming out just before the election and saying over again we're going to go over her emails that we already have been going over and have went through and analyzed already. So and they already have looked at her stuff, because the Clintons, I think, have done some stuff, but it was whitewater, and that ship sailed. So, and then, Bill Clinton, he was impeached. So, well, anyway, so I still think that the FBI could look, and has and does look at more than one case at a time. So, but I think that they are trying to derail us, and I don't know what the Republicans are thinking. I don't know where their brains are. And maybe they're also, getting a lot of money because see, it looks like the Russia, North Korea, and China are um, and I think North Korea and South Korea uh, are all in cahoots together because it'll benefit China to be able it, to have North and South Korea, back together again. And it make China, China is a great power now because of their great manufactories. They're exporting goods and all the money that they get from the United States and other places, that they export their goods to. United States is the number one consumer. We are the number one consumers of the fossil fuels. That's why a lot of these energy companies, want to keep fracking, like Exxon and numerous other. Uh, uh, um, Everybody wants to be in the oil and gas business because they make so much money. They're very lucrative. Anyway, so I'm gonna wash my hair today. It warmed up a little bit yesterday, so we do it. Anyway, besides the point. So I think really the big issue right now is, will the investigation of Trump be derailed? We can't really have a Russia and China dictating to our president. And also you got to understand, since they allow, uh, uh, well, you can see what they're doing. You can see what Sessions doing. He wants to turn back, a big money maker with legalizing marijuana. It's been making a lot of money. They've been paying a lot of taxes into the community, and he's trying to say marijuana is the same as heroin. I don't know if he's ever been around. I think he needs to go into like a drug treatment, or and just hang out there for like 30 days, make him live in one of those motherfucking places, so that he would understand from people that were actually affected or been affected by drugs, maybe some type of drug and alcohol treatment where, it's a live-in place, so he could hear the stories. And I guarantee you're not going to hear a whole bunch of stories about, with marijuana, as you do with cocaine, as you do with heroin, as you do with a lot of the percodons or the pain pills. It's just a different whole situation, and that's just the facts. People, they might die from alcohol, they might die from cocaine, and they might die from heroin. But I've never in the history of the use of marijuana have I heard of anybody die from marijuana. And I know that there's propaganda they use to make us start having tested for drugs when we go to job, and it's a great way to get the young people not in the job market to test them for marijuana. Um, but they use the trains, just like they had another train. I think somebody is sabotaging our train system. Matter of fact, they just arrested somebody for just that. Anyway, and that's another thing, because like the planes use a lot of fuel. Cars, they use a lot of fuel. So it's a big industry to keep our planes, to keep our planes and our trains, really to keep America down in a sense. But I think it comes to a time to where, well, I think where we're not gonna have enough money, because who was it? Was it Reaganomics? Where they're like, oh, the American people are now in the service industry, like McDonald's, like Burger King, like FedEx. It's in the service industry like that, and then they promoted us to give to more organizations like the Red Cross, and the Red Cross, when like I was in Katrina, I was 6 nights and 6 days in the Superdome, and then when the Red Cross finally showed up, after we was evacuated on the 6th day from, or at least I was, from the Superdome, they acted very funny, like this money wasn't donated. I think that I feel sorry for the people in the islands that got hit by those two hurricanes, because they could act real funky about this is stuff people donated to help these people. And the whole time the Red Cross people, they are like, oh, they just gonna use this to get drugs, so that gives them excuse to skim off and steal. And I think they had to prosecute a few people. So like this jealousy of this person, like, oh well, they don't have anything, they lost everything. Oh look, they're gonna give them a few $100s. Wow, they're what are they gonna do? That money's gonna go quick. And yeah, if you lost everything and you don't have anything, a little bit of money, even if it's $2,000, will actually go pretty quick. Even if you're just replacing shoes, or and yeah, people donate stuff, but there's certain items you're just gonna have to replace yourself. you know that and I don't care if you did get some donated shoes, which people don't really donate shoes, but anyway. But so like you're gonna have to get shoes, you're gonna have to get a lot of stuff. And if you just don't want to stay in the shelter, as long as they have, even if they're going to help you get a place, but if you reimburse you, but if you want to get a place, first month's rent and deposit, turning on your lights, $2,000 is gone. So in reality, I'm thinking, oh well, they spend all their money, they spend it on drugs. So like I guess like the world they live in, they don't have to pay a deposit when they or first and last month rent when they move into a place, or have furniture, or lease a bed, some toilet paper, maybe a bar of soap or something, and maybe some groceries. Maybe that person might want to eat. Once you do all that, of course you want to have lights. So that's everything. Say you find a real cheap place for $350, but they want a deposit of $350 or $700 right there. So that leaves you like 1,300 or something dollars. Then you got to get your electric bill right, or get your electricity turned on. So that's going to cost money right there. You're going to need a bed, toilet paper, some food. Boom. It's probably a couple change of underwear, stuff like that. Anyway, so but you have people that's working in that, you're not comprehending. You know what I'm saying? And the only way these people can empathize with somebody is once they went through it, and then they're really gang ho, all the way, but like I find with myself, I can empathize with somebody's plight. If something horrible happened to somebody, something tragic happened, without it happen to me, the same way I can rejoice in somebody else's, happiness, be it their birthday, or they won the Super Bowl. I, I can empathize and I can feel that joy. You know what I'm saying? And I guess I'm a little strange to some people. I could be happy and I could be sad. You know what I'm saying? And then some days, you might start off in the morning. There's a plane, that crashes into a building, and you know what I'm saying. You don't have to be in New York. You don't have to know anything about the world, the time. You know what I'm saying. You don't have to know those people to empathize. And I think that's what a lot of that we don't have with the Republicans. They're not empathizing with the plight of the American citizen. The only thing they care about is the money they get from the people that are lobbying up in Congress. Like the NRA, like the gas company, like I don't know, like whoever has these companies. And let's face it, a lot of these companies that we get our stuff from are stationed in China, are stationed in South Korea, Vietnam, and all these places that we just destroy took them out of their natural habitats and in their customs and where they do, so their people can be in the factories, because we moved all our factories out of the United States overseas, and we moved our money overseas too, either to offshore banks or just out of the United States. So our financial situation, with the stock market, it's not being governed by the activities of American citizens. The corporations are not being governed by anything that's happening with American citizens. Matter of fact, to them, if they could privatize more prisons or whatever and put them on the stock market, all the more money. If they could privatize everything and have American people more pinched, we could America. Never mind. But what I think is what needs to happen is that the FBI, yeah, it might have because these Russians has been working on this since 1970s. They've been making friends and spending big time money, uh, um, and investing in a lot of these politicians uh, um, campaign, financing them. You could see with Trump, with all the Russian activity that he had, the back and forth with his son meeting at the Trump Towers, so allegedly talk about how the Russians could help Trump win the election, and um, so I think the next thing is to really, so like so you could see like the only thing good is like um that I think we have some seasonal FBI people that could see that you know um it's some bullshit, but they could go ahead and investigate Hillary Clinton all they want. I think this would be like the third time, and they'll probably come to the same conclusion that they came to before, because most of them are professional, and this is what they do to feed their families and to shelter and clothe their families. So I'm sure they take their jobs seriously, and I hope they take their oath to serve the citizens and keep them safe from foreign and domestic danger. Because I don't think the FBI or anybody else that takes a government job takes an oath to a president who's supposed to can only be there for 4 years. When most people plan on keeping a job longer than 4 years because they plan on eating longer than. Never mind. Um, but I think right now there's some real shenanigans going on. I think that there must be something to really more investigation that needs to. I think they got enough information for Trump. I think they need to just let it all out, and then and let the courts decide. They might be getting a lot of pushbacks from the Republicans, but I say, hey, if you want to be on the Titanic, then stay on the goddamn Titanic and go down with the fucking ship.